Welcome to New Earth Lifestyles. I'm Janee King, host of the show. Thank you for joining us today. Today is March 27th, 2014, and we're in Manchester, New Hampshire, and live. And today we have Wendy Birchall with us from Earth Angel Designs.
Perfect.
So thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here, Wendy.
Thank you for having me.
So you had a long trip today from Massachusetts up to Manchester, so thank you for coming that way and being on the show with us.
It was a very smooth ride.
Yeah, it was a great day. Good.
Yeah, it was a great day for a drive.
Excellent. So, Earth Angel Designs, and you also host or you create expos or shows.
I do. A Healing Spirit Expo is the expo that I produce.
Excellent. Nice. So, Earth Angel Designs and A Healing Spirit Expo. Feels good. And I'm going to be there in a couple weeks, actually, in April 19th,
April 19th, yep, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. In Enfield, Connecticut.
Enfield, Connecticut. And it's a Healing Spirit Expo. So it's healers and readers. So can you tell us, why don't you tell us a little more about that, if you don't mind?
Sure. This is my third time doing this expo, and I try to have a theme each time that I do it. So this year it's Life in Balance. And so I try to gear our workshops with that thought process, which is why, you're one of our speakers with your Clarity Brings Balance. And I bring in wonderfully talented healers and speakers and readers, that just flood the environment with wonderful energy and metaphysical products, and it's just a great way to spend your day.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you're going to get a nice group of people coming in, walking through the door to experience all of that. So I'm looking forward to that theme of being in balance. It's a really great theme for all of us to think about, and actually when I get up in the morning, that's one of the things I do is I ground and I breathe and I smile at myself, which I believe is a way of coming into balance for the day, because when we're sleeping, we go out, or we're dreaming, or we're out of our body in this other world, and when in the morning when you wake up, I really need to come into my body and be focused and balanced. So that is a really big theme.
Yeah, I think it's a great theme in that, we're always feeling like a lot of people feel like they're out of balance all the time, and they don't know how to identify when they're out of balance, but also, more importantly, how to get themselves back into balance. And it could be as easy as what you just said, waking up in the morning and doing a few things to kind of set your intention and your energy for the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I am finding that in my own life, as I look back and as I live my life every day, that it needs to be, for me, a daily focus, and being in balance, but also being clear about what I want. And I'm always swaying in and out of that. And I think bringing balance to my life helps me to become clear about why I'm doing this today, or what direction am I going in, or is this where I want to be going?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So how many people do you have? How many exhibitors?
I have about 34 exhibitors, which includes healers and the speakers and the metaphysical products and the readers. Most of the people who are speaking are vendors or healers or readers on that day as well. And then I have the workshops, which start off with defining what balance is. I mean, do we really know what it is? Sometimes we don't.
That's true.
What is that balance? And then we move through the day with, after defining it, different ways of helping you to bring yourself back in balance. And then we're ending it with me speaking on, bringing in the angels, angels in the balance. So,
wow, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Angels in the balance.
Yes, yeah.
That's great. And I know that you, well, maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you began, where your life was, and how you kind of moved into doing this type of work.
Yeah, if you had seen me several years back and told me I was going to be doing this, I would have giggled. It was not a possibility for me. But, life and spirit has a way of waking you up and, making you aware of your purpose and why you're here. And sometimes it's asking that question, and sometimes it's spirit just kind of forcing you into looking in that direction. And, I was very fortunate in that I had an encounter, with my angel. One of my
Wow.
angels. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us any more? I mean,
Sure,
more
I
about
can.
that?
No, I'm very open about it. It was several years before I actually came into realizing that it was an angel. But at the time, I was in the hospital and I was very ill, and I had just given birth to my third child, which was a wonderful boy, and that evening in the hospital, because I had been so ill and it had been such a difficult pregnancy, and the two of us were, really struggling to live at that time.
Wow.
An angel. Well, I didn't know it wasn't an angel, but I knew something important had happened that evening, and the room got quiet, and I was actually given a choice whether I would stay or I would leave.
Really?
Yes.
How did that
was.
happen? I mean, how did
It was just the room went quiet, and I just this feeling of complete peace came over me. So when you're in a hospital, you hear all these dingings and noises. None of that was present. Like, I knew something was happening. And then this feeling of just complete peace and love came over me, and a voice spoke and asked me if I wanted to continue or if I wanted to leave.
Wow.
And of course, having just given birth to my third child, the feeling of just wanting to move into that beautiful feeling, of course, was difficult to leave back, but knowing that I had a responsibility kept me here. So I chose to stay. And I kind of let that, I didn't tell a lot of people about that experience, coming from the background that I came in. I was a strong Christian, and I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't know what it was, so I told very few people. But years later, a friend of mine lost her sister to cancer. And I saw the pain and the grief that she was experiencing. And all of those thoughts that had kind of, plagued me through my life of, am I here just once? What happens after we leave? Started kind of coming to surface again. And this friend of mine actually saw a medium, and she brought her so much peace, so much peace. And I thought, wow, I would love to be able to do that. And I spoke those words to my friend.
Wow.
And she said, go pick up a book, Wendy. And I thought, there's books on this? And that's where this journey began. I picked up this incredible book, and part of this, opening to channel was the name of the book, was to meet your guide. And I had no idea what a guide was. I had no idea what I was doing, but I just sat down one day and I followed the guidelines for how to meet your guide. And what I ended up meeting was my angel. He came through again and reminded me of the years before when we had met one another. And since then, that relationship has just kind of catapulted me into, this journey of discovering myself, but also what is my purpose in helping this world and helping this planet, and helping others to find.
What a
they're
beautiful
here for.
story. That
a-
is fabulous.
It's a wonderful privilege.
Wow, it's amazing how things are put in our lives, like you said, to kind of wake us up or help us to pay attention or help us to answer some of the questions you've probably been asking all your life, as I have too. And that bringing in a child and then having that opportunity to meet, to be in that peaceful place.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are many people that have had that type of an experience from time to time, and maybe somewhere down the road, like you, they'll be questioning how to do other things. I mean, how to do reading. So that experience kind of came back to you after your friend saw a medium and gave her peace.
Yes.
And that's really, last week we had Lucia Reed on the show, and she's a medium and a psychic, and that's exactly what she said about why she loves the work, or loves doing mediumship, because she's able to help people that have lost loved ones to really find the peace and realize that the lost loved one is at peace. And so that inspired you
Yes.
to read a book, and that sounds like Ramona.
It is. Yes.
I remember those books. She wrote a few books on
Yes.
connecting, and those were the guides back in the 90s, I think, or somewhere back there. That those are the books to read that everyone was reading to learn about spirit and this other world that we're. I'm very similar to you, is that I came from an accounting background, and never in a million years would I ever say I would be doing this type of work.
Yeah.
But things changed my life as well, and so Wow, that's inspiring, and it's amazing that we live in this place where spirit is just so right with us and listening for when we ask those questions, or when we make that one statement you made of what was that statement
I
again?
wish that I could do something like that.
Mm.
And yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Or not.
Or not, exactly. I mean, it just kind of fell into place. It really
I'm
did.
gong on that. Fell into place when you asked for something. Then because your heart, I bet your heart was really wishing. I mean, there must have been an energy when you said those words that Spirit said, "Okay, she's real. We're going to listen to this question, or listen to this request."
I really think so. I think it grounded it. Because like you said, my heart was speaking to me about it for a long time, but fear of the unknown, fear of letting go of what I had been taught for much of my life to something that I knew nothing of was my greatest concern, because you don't want to, you have to step cautiously. You have to make sure you stay within the limits of what your heart speaks to you. Mm-hmm. And so there was some fear behind it. But once I expressed those words, I think I grounded them, and it was able to come through. It was able to come through in a way that I could work with it.
Grounded those words. It was So I think about the energy field in that tube, the tube torus, or what do you call it, the pranic tube that's kind of in the middle, center of us, and this whirling energy that we are, and how that, when you said that, something came through you and boom, right into the earth, and okay, this is real. I can almost feel that energy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then they just led the way. And once you open yourself, up to it, you start noticing that it was always there. The synchronicities just line up, and you meet certain people, or you have experiences, and you're like, wow, I can see how that connects back. But once again, grounding it for me was writing it. Because when you have something happen, you can forget the details of it, or you can go back and say, well, maybe it didn't really happen. But if you write it, after the moment, you're grounding it, you're keeping it here for when you do look back to say, yes, that is actually what happened.
And when did you start writing?
Almost immediately after I had the encounter with my guardian angel the second time, I was encouraged to start writing. And so I did. And I had never journaled. I had never had a diary, but I did. And it was very powerful in how you see the story. Maybe you don't see each dot, as it comes. You don't understand what it is, but eventually they connect in some way, and you see the bigger picture.
Wow! And
it's just a beautiful story unfolds.
So your angel asked you to journal?
He did. He encouraged me to journal.
Great, and you listened.
I did.
That's one of the keys, is listening, isn't it?
Yes.
When you ask, and then you listen, and then the next step is to actually journal.
Yes. So I journaled for years. And I still do now and then, but I think it was really imperative at that moment in time, when that support system was really being felt, that I write it down. So I did.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. And here you are today. And so do you do medium work or psychic readings?
No, I mean, I do. In the beginning, I did a lot more angel readings. And I do them when I have a request. But I don't go out. That's not my primary work. My primary work is earth angel design and working with artisans to create products. Because my next part in that evolutionary process was working with the stones. So we have the angel and we have the earth. So, earth angel is the combination, for me in the beginning, of the stones with the angelic energy with, the higher source. It's a divine plan. The design is not mine. It's something greater than me. So that's how earth angel design came about. It was aligning those. So at first I started creating jewelry and pieces. And then I started finding more artisans who are wonderful at what they do. Their heart is in what they do. So either I would, take on their product as part of Earth Angel Design, or we would work together and create something and then have it come on as a product with Earth Angel Design.
That's beautiful. And so it's inspired from the angels.
Absolutely.
And the earth.
Absolutely.
The stones from the earth. So you work with different gemstones?
Oh, yeah, I work with a lot of stones. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how does that affect you? Does that affect you?
No, it does in a good way. I mean, these are Herkimers, and these align with your guardian angels. And, just surrounding yourself with those energies, whether it be through a piece of jewelry or a stone that, is attracted to you. There's a reason why that stone is attracted to you. It may be your eyes that are telling you it, but oftentimes it's more the energy, that's coming out of that stone that you need at that moment, or or by your bedside or whatever. But yeah, the stones have a purpose, just like you and I have a purpose. Everything was put here with a purpose. And, utilizing those stones to facilitate that is really a wonderful reward.
Excellent. How beautiful. Can you tell us a little about what you're wearing?
This piece it's a triad of 3 Herkimer diamonds, and, their energy aligns with your guardian angels. And this particular designer is out of Texas. I met him in Tucson, saw his work, was just absolutely intrigued by how beautifully he makes his pieces, and I started working with him. And so he creates pieces for me all the time. Sometimes I'll send the stones to him that I've found that I love, and he'll wrap them for me. And other times he just has a great piece. Like this one. When I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. And at first I thought I had it for Earth Angel design, but once I put it on, I knew it was for me.
You're not taking that off.
No, I'm not taking this one off.
So how does it make you feel when you wear it?
It's just a gentle feeling with her. Herkimers are very gentle for me. In fact, I use them sometimes to kind of cut the energy of other stones, like a moldavite. That's a stone of transformation. And a lot of people really can't take that energy. It's too much energy. But if you put it with a Herc, you bring in that angel energy next to it, it makes it easier to wear. Yeah, at least that's what I've found. And people seem to, feel the same way when they purchase a piece and they go home and they put it on. It kind of makes it more digestible for them, the energy.
Great.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
So you do you go out and find stones yourself, or do people send them to you to have you design things? Or
I have had a few people send pieces that I've wrapped for them, but oftentimes I just go out and select my own stones. So whether it be at a show, I literally just go around and look and feel and just know. I know what's right. The minute I see the shape of it with the energy of it, for me, I don't feel a lot of the energy. I know the energy. I just know it. I know if it's right. I know how it's going to work, which is
interesting.
Yeah, which is kind of odd because people will say, "Wow, did you really feel that?" A moldavite, I'm going to really feel that. A danbarite, I'm going to feel that. But the more subtle pieces, it's just a knowing of what that energy is supplying for myself, or how it will work with the jewelry pieces.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you match people up with jewelry?
We match them up. There's a couple of ways to find a piece for you. And I tell people to just explore. So whether it's, they come in and they visually see a piece, that's one way. Then, put it in your hand, see how it feels. But also, part of the website is I worked very early on with aligning the purpose of the 7 primary archangels, the 7 Christian archangels, with the stones. They each align with the day of the week.
Oh,
So
wow.
on my website, you can literally go into Find Your Archangel. You can plug in the day you were born, and it'll show you which archangel oversees the day of the week that you were born on. And I'm no longer surprised that oftentimes the piece that they selected, once we look up their archangel, that's what it is. Or it's maybe if you start to talk to them about their life, it's what they need at this moment in time. So, over the years, it's almost like when I talk to someone about their archangel, it's either, wow, that's really what they've mastered in this lifetime, or wow, this is really what I need in this lifetime. And it's really neat to see kind of the light bulbs going off in their heads when they know that information.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what the 7 archangels are?
Sure.
In the Christian realm?
Absolutely. So the archangel of Monday is Shamuel, who's the archangel of love.
Shamuel.
And spiritual, relationships which are based on self-love. And then Tuesday is Michael, and he's the archangel of removal of fear and keeper of your soul's purpose. He's the most well-known archangel on the planet. And a lot of people identify with his energy or with him or know about him before we've met.
Archangel Michael.
Yes, and Raphael is the archangel of healing. And healing isn't just a physical healing, as I know you know. It's spirit, mind, and body all in balance. That's where real, true health is.
Right, that's true.
And so Raphael is the one that can help you find that balance of spirit, mind, and body. Yeah. And then we have Uriel, who's the archangel of spiritual enlightenment, and clear thought. It's that thought that just kind of quickly passes through your head. There's no judgment. It's just a knowing.
Aha.
Aha. And when you follow it, you're like, wow, I can't, I heard it, I knew it, I followed it, and wow, it's amazing what happened. And then other times you know it and you don't follow it, and you're like, if I had just listened. Well, that's Uriel with that clear thought. And then there's Zadkiel, who's the archangel of forgiveness and compassion. And I just think his purpose is so important at this time on our planet.
Yes, very.
To be more compassionate of one another, but mostly of ourselves, because you can't be compassionate to someone else if you're not compassionate with yourself. And the same thing goes for forgiveness. We're here because we're not perfection. And so we're going to make mistakes as human beings. And that's okay. Forgive yourself, learn from it, move on, and then forgive others for the mistakes that they've made, in their lives as well. And then, of course, we have Gabriel. Who's
Gabriel, yes.
the second most well-known archangel on the planet.
What day is that, Saturday?
And that is Saturday. And he's the archangel of parenting.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Communication.
Oh, yeah.
And creative writing.
Ah.
Yes. Yes. And then finally there's Jophiel, who's the archangel of Sunday. And she's the archangel of beauty.
Oh.
And not so much physical beauty, but that beauty from within. Noticing your own divine spark and noticing the spark in everyone else. And that's a beautiful place to be, because when you can see that in everyone, and even in your most difficult situations, then life is just so much more enjoyable.
True.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for those 7.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome.
So if anyone out there wants to get in touch with which angel is yours, based on your birth date, you could go to earthangeldesigns.com.
Yeah, no S though, it's just Earth Angel Design.
One design, okay,
Yeah.
earthangeldesign.com. Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
And look up your angel based on your birth date.
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm sure you don't know those off the top of your head.
No, I couldn't do those. Those are difficult.
Yeah, that's kind of a one-off kind of
I'd
thing.
have to be a human calculator.
And do you do that for people when they come to your booth?
Yes.
Do you?
You know, oftentimes people are interested in angels, but they don't know where to start. So it's a wonderful place to kind of start a conversation. Would you like to find out the archangel that oversees the day you were born? I have rarely had a no. So it begins the conversation, and then we start talking about, all of the products are based on these 7 angels. And, here they are, the stones, the jewelry, the raku pottery, which we put a little piece of angelite in, to bring the angels into your dreams.
Wow.
And, all sorts of really neat.
Raku pottery.
Raku pottery. Yes.
And where does that come from?
That also comes from, I saw the artisan out when I was in Sedona last year, and I believe he's out of Texas as well.
I see.
A lot of talent out there.
But
there's a lot of talent here, too. I have many artisans who are from around here as well.
Wow, how beautiful. How
Thank
beautiful.
you.
It feels really good to even consider that we have those, an overlighting angel of of the day you were born that is your angel, your archangel.
Your archangel.
Your archangel. Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I'll be curious. I'm going to have to look it up because I'll be curious about which one is mine, because I think I know which one, but I want to see if it matches up with my birth date.
Absolutely.
I'll
You're
have to do
probably
that.
right.
So we'll gong on those archangels. Thank you for being with us on the human plane and the non-human plane, or whatever plane they're on. They're probably on multiple dimensions.
They are. They're multidimensional, but they are the highest ranking angel that can still have contact with human.
The highest ranking angel that can still have contact with
humans.
What does that mean?
It means that there's other tiers of angels. They're much closer to the throne, and
The throne.
the throne of the
throne.
divine.
Oh.
And there's many levels of angels, but the archangels oversee our guardian angels, and they are the highest vibrational angel that can still have some human contact.
I see. And so the higher the vibration means that they're less in human realms.
Yes.
That's what that means.
Yes.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And we as humans have multi levels of vibration, really low and really high.
Absolutely.
And so that's something to be grateful for, isn't it? That we can connect with with our guardian angels, our angel and our archangel that overlights our day of birth.
Absolutely.
And stays with us all of our lives.
Well, the archangels are, omnipresent, meaning they can be with many of us at one time, whereas your guardian angels are specific to you.
I see.
Yeah, so they come in with you and exit with you.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about, I know we have something called a soul group that kind of is up, didn't incarnate with us this time. Some of them might have, some of them stay up there. I wonder if that has a connection then with our guardian angel being connected with them too, or
That's a really good question. I wish I could answer that one.
well, these questions come up.
Yeah. No, that is a really good question. I mean, if you look at the true human definition, of an angel, they're messengers, but they have never incarnated here on Earth.
Oh, they never have.
Yes. That's them in their true definition. So the soul group is more of people who you've incarnated with and are not on the earth plane at this point in time, but are maybe guiding you like a spirit guide.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how things kind of make sense to me, but you may have a different interpretation of that.
Well, there's a whole gamut of, I'm sure, writings and interpretations of that. So I'm always working with this moment, because it changes.
It does.
And this moment I might have a feeling of this, that, I know that I have a soul group, and I know that usually everyone that I come in contact with on the earth plane is probably part of that soul group, because I feel very close to them, and especially people that I see that I don't even know. Then they say, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
I know you from somewhere, don't I? And they live in another part of the country or another country, and I know that I've never been there. So I know that we have this amazing feeling that we somehow knew each other, and I really feel that's part of my soul group. I really feel that there's a connection or a past life. I mean, that's also that past life piece too, but I'm also feeling that as well is part of this whole soul, who's going to incarnate and who's going to stay up there and
guide us
and not incarnate in this lifetime.
I agree. I mean, you can look at people. I just had that happen last weekend. I looked into another woman's eyes, and I was the words that came to me were, "I know you."
Right.
Like it was like your soul was speaking. Our souls know each other. We may not know each other.
You didn't think about saying that. It just
it just came out. I was like, I know you, and she felt the same way. So, and that's such a wonderful, magical moment.
It is. Your heart feels like, what?
Yes. It's almost like just soul sisters, right there.
Right.
No, not knowing anything else about one another, but it was a really neat thing. Yeah. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
So it keeps me questioning about what the soul group is all about, and how many sisters we have on the planet, or brothers.
Brothers as well. Absolutely.
Sisters and brothers. And it's also helping me to feel that we are all connected, and we are all brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And helping each other open up to that possibility, and compassion for each other, and bringing that peace and love and balance onto the planet right now, which I think we're all doing, those of us in this line of work.
Yeah.
We all have that grounded intention to express all that stuff of being family, which we all are. We're all of the same universe.
Absolutely.
It's one thing that Stephen Greer, who does ET work, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but I happened to download one of his meditations, and this morning something triggered me to listen to it, and it gives me an opportunity to expand my consciousness in a way that I don't always do, and help me to connect in with the infinite being that I am, that we are, and the fact that we are all in this universe together. We're not just earthlings together, but we're in this whole universe together, and we're in God together. We're in that divine space together, which is the angels really, I think, are here to help us remember that too, aren't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
they certainly helped you in your life kind of switch from being this to being that.
Yeah, yeah. It was almost like I felt safe, and even when I talk about angels, every religion embraces them, which, again, it's it brings that connectedness almost immediately.
Uh-huh.
So working from that realm really is just a joy.
Yeah, that must be.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I know it is when I work with my guides and do my work, my healing work or play. I don't like calling it work, but it's a profession, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you are in that energy of that other dimension or the other realms, or that intention of being in God consciousness, it's just so fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be there all the time.
Yeah.
And strive to be there all the time. But I know for me, I get tripped up with my ego a lot. As we are as human beings.
Condition.
Yeah, right.
We all do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the learning process
Yeah.
of why we're here on the planet, I guess.
Exactly.
Life is good.
It is.
Go to a gong till that. Life is good. This is fun, Wendy.
Yeah.
And so before this happened, you have 3 children, you said.
I do.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
How nice. They must be grown by now, or?
I have 2 in college, and I still have 1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
The divine boy is at home.
Yes.
He didn't know that was all happening
I
when
know.
he was born.
No, he did not know. He did not know, and he's a love. He's a joy. They're all a joy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have 2 that are gone already, and you still have 1 to kind of still enjoy,
Uh-huh.
it's nice.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't all happen at once, so that's good.
Yeah, they don't leave the nest all at once, so you don't have that empty feeling
Yeah.
all at once. That's
Yeah.
great. It's kind of, I don't know if I can put this analogy on it because I don't have any children, but I know in the fall I don't look forward to winter at all, but come around this time of, in the middle of January, I start enjoying the snow and hiking in the snow and snowshoeing, and then as the snow recedes, I kind of get sorry that the snow's going, believe it or not, because I get so used to the snowshoeing and the feeling of the cold air and being out in the snow, and then when spring comes, there's a bit of a loss. It's almost like an empty nest for me. I don't know, maybe this isn't an analogy, but for me, it's a wish it was still here kind of feeling sometimes. Yeah. Even though I'm glad it's gone, but I still wish it was still here.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, it's good.
It is.
We all have our lives that go in whatever direction they're going.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You just have to embrace. All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Right.
Yeah.
As people talk about the weather, I really strive to enjoy every bit of the weather.
Yeah.
Regardless of rain, snow, sleet, or hail, blizzard, freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I just give thanks to being in a warm place, warm clothes, ability to stay inside if I need to, and
yeah, I mean, winter is kind of, for me, it's not my favorite season at all, but it's a time for me to kind of reflect and, look at new ideas because you're inside a lot. So you're not distracted by the beautiful weather outside. So you might as well just come inside and relook at things and maybe set some goals or, figure out what direction I want to move in for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there's always something good that comes out of everything.
Mm-hmm. Like going in the cave, as the bears, the hibernators do.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like that in the winter.
Me too. It feels good to just hunker down sometimes and go to bed early when it's dark at night, early in the evening.
Mm-hmm. Get some extra sleep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I really I didn't realize those are Herkimers that you're wearing.
Yeah.
I love Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah.
And they're all just such beautifully, they're so uniform in shape. So I notice you wear them kind of over your heart. Mm-hmm. And is that purposeful?
Yeah. I mean, definitely keep the angels close to your heart. But it's also a bigger piece, so if I wore it up here, it might not look so, as good. But yeah, I always try to have something bigger in front of the heart. Yeah.
So you have angels all around you all the time, don't you?
I feel like they're there.
A lot of wings, a lot of light.
Yeah.
And I think I have a lot of birds around me. And so it's all working well.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I feel like you're just glowing. I feel this glow with you. You have such beautiful eyes, and I'm just really grateful that you're here.
Thank you.
And that we got to meet each other a few years ago at that expo in Nashua, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know you kept in touch with inviting me to the expo, or the Eastern States Exposition.
I did. I'm hoping you're going to make it in 2014.
I think I might. It
Yeah.
sounds exciting.
It is. It's funny because you would not think that something so metaphysical would have a place,
Right.
at an Eastern States Exposition, but it does. It really does. And I was fortunate enough that I have a wonderful corner booth that's on the back side of the green. I couldn't have asked for a better location. That's why I know that I'm supposed to be there, because it was divinely, planned.
Mm-hmm.
And just all of these people coming through and enjoying the atmosphere of the Eastern States, but also just taking a moment to honor their spirit. And I've had some incredible people come through that booth that I would not have met otherwise had I not been there. And it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Wow. So that's September 17th or
It's I think it starts on the 14th this year, and it's 17 days.
17 days.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's 3 weekends, 2 full weeks.
Wow.
It's long.
And what's the purpose of that exposition? I know it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's just a wonderful entertainment. I mean, there's a lot of farming
that's
shows going on, and horse shows, and there's that whole farming aspect of it, which is wonderful. And then they have entertainment all throughout the expo, and they have bands that come in the evenings, and then they have the States buildings.
Oh, that's right. State of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's there.
That's
Actually,
right.
I eat a lot of food from New Hampshire. I only eat from the States buildings. I try to eat healthier, and the States buildings offer more.
They have the fresh stuff coming in.
Yeah, the healthier things. It's a great way to spend a day, or even 2, because it's just enormous, because they have the whole carnival aspect that's on the back side
That's
of
right.
it. And
All the rides and things.
yeah, like over 1 million people come every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
1 million people. And that's part of the nice thing. Well, I mean, the networking with people is really a big part of it, isn't it? Like you said, you meet some wonderful people there.
And then we have the readers who are behind the booth, and we do, little angel readings throughout the day. And I mean, it's to me, I feel like we're the balance, because there was so many of these other things that kind of are very grounded. You're there, you're eating, you're doing those sorts of human things, and we're bringing in the spirit side of things. And people are seeking us out, and they're finding us, and it's great.
Wow.
It's
So
great.
do you think a million people go by your booth, or probably?
They at least walk by the booth.
That's true. They probably do.
We're on that primary street. Hampden Ave connects the Better Living Center with the States buildings, and behind me is the green, the Storeton Tavern, and there's always wonderful entertainment behind me. There's an old schoolhouse, so the energy there is.
Wow.
There's an old church that's right by me. I feel like we were just placed right where we should be.
Somebody
And-
placed you right where you should be.
Absolutely, because the first year I was in a tent, and it rained like 12 days.
Ooh.
And I thought, I cannot come back in a tent. So I kind of put the thought out there, and I wrote them a letter and said, I would love a booth if you have a booth. And it came. It came.
Not
corner
only a booth, but the best booth.
It's the best booth in the whole place. I think it is. So you come in, and it's just a magical space, and we have our products, and we have great conversations, and it's really a lot of fun. It really is.
Sounds great. And yeah, you wouldn't think of people coming to a farm or a horse show or carnival or it's like the old county fair
Yes.
type of
Yeah.
only it's huge.
It's
and it's big and
enormous.
long and many days.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. I remember. I think when I was in 4-H, I think that was like the
Oh,
big
4-H
thing.
is big there.
Yeah, it was a big thing. Get to the Eastern States. We're going to get to you had to qualify. You had to win so many things
You
throughout
did.
the summer.
Mm-hmm.
To get to Eastern States. I don't think I ever made it, but it was fun to think about.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're bringing in that balance. We're bringing in that aspect that was missing, which is your spirit.
Yeah,
So,
great.
yeah.
And you have people reading every day for
Every day.
17
For
days.
17 days.
Cool.
Yeah. The first year it was just, it was just something that kind of happened. I had a couple readers that came in and said, "Are you offering, I'm a reader. Do you want to offer readers here?" It wasn't even something I had considered because
Really?
I was so overwhelmed with, the product aspect of things and trying to set up my first year. And I was like, wow, I had thought about it, but I kind of put it to the side. And when these two women came in at different times, I thought, oh, this is a message. I need to be doing this. So I called those two women back, and they came back and read the rest of the year for that year. And then it was too much for two people to do. So I started, meeting other angel readers.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have no problem, filling the space with just people with great intentions and integrity and a love of what they do, And so, yeah, this will be my third year.
Your third year.
And, yeah.
A love of reading angels?
Oh, yeah, doing the angel readings, it may be that they get it from various ways. Some people use cards. Some people use, they can just sit there and discuss your angels with you. And there's different ways to get your messages, but it's really just a gentle way of, your spirit speaking to you through, your angels.
Yeah. Feels really good. And what I'm feeling from that is that these people that are there have a reading, and then they go back out into the fair with a whole, they can then start pondering and realizing that their angels are with them or whatever, and they kind of bring that all out into the midway or into the next building or into the whole atmosphere of Eastern States Exposition. I just sort of got that, how much fun that must be.
Yeah, and they've now become a light in a sense.
Right.
Because of the 10 minutes that they've spent with someone, it gets them thinking. And that's really what I feel that my purpose is, on this planet, is to just spark. Just give them the spark and then let them go with it. Mm-hmm. Let them develop it, let them see what it means to them. Mm-hmm. But so many people just don't see it in themselves.
Right.
They're too busy, they're too crazy, they don't stop their life to ponder something greater. And maybe that 10 minutes will start that journey for them. Because I know the angels are ready if they're there. So it's just a matter of what do you want to do with it now? So yeah, I see those little sparks all throughout the Big E. Just their energy is changing, what's around them. So yeah,
right.
It's really kind of neat when you think about it.
Yeah, it is neat. And I wonder if any of them come back so that you can see how their year has been and see their spark, how much it's flamed or flared up or whatever happens.
Yeah.
The light has grown within them.
We do get people who stop by again. And that is, that just brings things full circle. It just answers the why. Sometimes when you may struggle with, am I making a difference? And then someone happens to pop in and say, you did make a difference. And I had this young girl, an amazing singer. She sings at the Big E, and she comes through every year. And we talk about how her year was and her connection with the angels, and her voice is like an angel. But yeah, you see her growth. You see her spiritual growth from year to year.
Lovely.
And it's just,
that's so confirming for you.
it is. And that's all you need. You just need someone. You just need to know you made a difference.
That's right. In one life.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
We're going on that. Making a difference in one person's life, and then that person makes a difference in other people's lives, and we keep on making a difference here and there, and it all adds up.
It does. It does. It creates an energy, and that's what creates change in a positive direction. And that's really what it's all about, is all of us coming together and seeing each spark connected to the one before. So it's no one person standing alone, making the difference. It's all of us making the difference together. Yeah.
True. I just got this vision of Tonka toys for some reason. With the old Tonka toys, you stick the thing in and you make all these things. And I saw the round part was all the lights, and then all the connections were the things, the little sticks you put into the other. I don't know if you're familiar with Tonka toys, but way back in my day, that was the toy that we made before those plastic things. These were wooden.
Yeah, it was a little round wooden disc, and you
had holes in it, and you stick all these things.
Stuck all the little sticks in it,
and you'd add all these other pieces, and you could make all these things out of it.
It's connectedness. Yeah.
Connectedness, yeah.
That's what creates the final piece, is everything working cohesively together.
Exactly, and that's what's happening on the planet at this time. There's so many of us that, like you, asked or didn't realize you were asking, but you asked for something, and poof, there it was, and it grounded into you in a way that you can't go back, and you don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back. I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm following my passion. I live what I'm passionate about every day.
Isn't that great?
It
and that's what
is.
we all want to live from, what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
So what a great model you are for us.
It's an honor. It's really an honor, you know. And it doesn't mean it's always easy. And I think people have to remember that too, that, you know, because you're trying to open up this side of yourself, it's not just always going to flow. There's always going to be decisions that you're going to make where you might go off a little bit, learn something, come back into the fold. But it's just knowing that there is a flow to it. And, you know, there's a purpose for everything, even the difficult things, even the things that you struggle with. If you can go back and look, you know, once you've passed it, you'll go, wow, now I understand why I had that struggle, because it made me stronger, or it made me look into something I hadn't considered before. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I know in my life I've been through my share of struggles and realized that it's I'm very grateful for them looking back, because I wouldn't have turned the corners that I've turned and gone in the directions I've gone in. And as you said in the beginning, being an accountant, I never would have been doing this if anyone said that to me 25 years ago, that you'd be doing this kind of healing work and making drums and being on TV, having my own TV show even.
Yeah.
I was a little introvert, quiet, shy person, and wanted to be in the norm. I wanted to be like everybody else, and now I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got to conform a little bit, I suppose, but really, we're here to be who we are and find out who we are.
Yeah.
Really find out, let go of all that stuff that's been put on us over our lifetime, the early years of our life anyway, for me, and let go of that shrouded, this is how you're supposed to act, this is how you're supposed to dress, this is how you're supposed to think, this is how you're supposed to talk, these rules that are given to us. When if we come from a heart space, then you can let go of those rules, and you can still, you are still really doing what you're here to do.
Absolutely.
But checking in, allowing that passion, that's really beautiful, that you are a wonderful person, modeled for living your passion.
Thank you.
And as you say, not necessarily always on an even keel.
Right. And you are as well.
Yes. More and more every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it feels good. It feels good, and it's really what I'm realizing is I have so many tools to fall back on when my mind gets in the way. Like today, I had some things happen to me that I started taking the wrong way, and I started judging things, and I started what do you call that? Well, anyway, I just had this thing happens. I read somebody's email, and it put me in a tailspin, and I started getting angry, and all this stuff comes up that I've created by reading one person's email. And then later on, after I'd had a couple clients and gone back and reread the email, I said, oh, it didn't say that at all. Why are you going into this tailspin?
Yeah.
And so our mind just can take over and take us on this whirlwind of a ride that we don't need to be on.
Yeah.
But having those tools to come back and realize that I can do this differently, because it's a choice. It's a choice that we all have. We can choose our thoughts. Even in the first moment, I wasn't choosing my thoughts. I was allowing my ego, or was allowing the old patterns to kind of flow in and rule me at the moment. They were ruling my life at the moment. But these other tools that I've gotten to contact with help me now to settle in and make different choices around my thoughts.
Yeah.
It's just thoughts.
Yeah. Thoughts and emotions, and
right.
The great thing is that you learn to check in. I mean, our first responses sometimes with regards to anything can maybe not be our best self, right. But it's knowing that's so powerful. Like knowing it, okay, I have a choice here.
Right. Being
able to get yourself to that point where it automatically, you have that check system where you can correct maybe a small error. I mean, that's
Just by breathing and rethinking it all.
Yeah.
Revisiting.
Yeah.
Revisiting from a different place.
Changing your paradigm. I tell people that
Yeah,
all the time.
right.
Change your paradigm.
Mhm.
The glass is half full, not half empty.
Exactly.
You know, you have to look at things differently, especially those difficulties. I mean, your greatest rewards sometimes come out of your greatest struggles. Most times.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. You know.
I agree. We'll go on that greatest rewards. Come out of our greatest struggles, because that's been my life. Remembering to breathe
Yeah.
and slow down. And that we have a choice. We have a choice in everything we do, everything we think, moment to moment.
We do. We do.
And it's having that ability or that practice, because I call it a practice of remembering that we have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I really help my clients come into alignment with is watch your thoughts and realize that you can think something different. You have the habitual thoughts that come in, and notice when they're not the thoughts that make you happy
Mm-hmm.
or bring your energy up or bring your energy down, and you can choose something different. Even if you think someone's hurting you, only you can hurt you
Yeah. Yeah.
by your thinking.
Exactly.
And so come back to that and come back to the loving compassion of loving yourself, and therefore loving whatever you think someone did to you. They were in a place that they needed to do that for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about you.
Right. Don't take it personally.
Exactly.
Because you don't always know the story behind the story.
Right.
You know, sometimes words aren't expressing really the hurt that's behind it, that may have nothing to do with you, you know,
Exactly.
or the anger that's behind it that may have nothing to do with you.
Right.
So you have to learn not to take it personally. Just let it kind of bounce off, and it's just a healthier place to be. It doesn't mean you're ignoring things. It just means that you're taking them less personally.
Right. It's not like an arrow coming at you. It's like information coming from another person that maybe isn't in your best interest. And
Yes.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Don't
don't-
let it knock you off where you're headed to.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my big ones, one of the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personally. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what hit me in the face this morning. Or I allowed it to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not about me.
Right.
It is in
Right.
a way, but it's an opportunity to really go through all those feelings and then realize I don't have to go through those feelings, and
Right.
realize that I can make other choices.
Right.
So there's this whole wave of how you live your life, that you can make different choices and do something different.
Absolutely. It's very powerful. There was a book that I read, and it's by Florence Scovel Shinn.
Yes.
That's an amazing. I use her words all the time.
I
and
haven't
how-
heard her name for years.
Yeah. This book was given to me a few years ago, and oh my gosh, it's all marked up because she's such the way that she words things. You know, I mean, your world is your wand is one of those 4 books that she's written, but you know, she speaks so eloquently about how you know, your thoughts and your words are just, they create your world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Absolutely.
it's so true.
Mhm.
It's so true.
Absolutely. Your thoughts and your words create your world.
Mhm.
And just coming into the place of recognizing that in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're feeling, when your emotions are in this place that you don't want them to be, that's hurting.
Yeah.
That's the key, to recognize that, oh, I don't have to be here.
Nope. Nope. I can change it.
I can change
Anything
this.
is
And only
changeable.
I can change it. No
Yeah.
one can change it for me.
No, absolutely not.
That's why it's so powerful about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Florence Scovel Shinn.
Shinn, yeah.
And she wrote a book about heart. Someone lent me. I can't remember the name of it, but
I know that the book that I read was 4 books combined together. I'm not sure if it's in there. It's called The Wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn. That's the
Okay.
name of the book, and it's got the 4 books in it. But
Okay.
I just love the fact that she was, you know, I think she even died in the 40s. I mean, this was written a long time ago, or the 50s. And what she was doing was so long ago. To see a woman so empowered, you know, and so, like, she just got it, you know? It's inspiring,
Mhm.
you know, and I just love to look back at it and and see how she just creates this wonderful picture. You know, long before The Secret came about, there was Florence Scovel Shinn.
We're going to Florence Scovel Shinn. She is a mentor in her own time.
Yes.
And
Way
even
before.
now,
Yeah.
even now, go get her book. Florence Scovel, Schovel.
Yep.
Something like that. Shinn, Shinn.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very powerful words from a lovely woman
Mm-hmm.
who was really amazing. Well, this has been amazing being with you today, Wendy Birchall,
Been a lot of fun.
Earth Angel Designs. So hope if any of you are out in the Connecticut area on April 19th, we will be in Enfield, Connecticut,
Yes. Yes. Enfield, Connecticut.
at a, could you say that again?
A Healing Spirit Expo.
A Healing Spirit Expo.
Yes.
And you can find me on Facebook. And Wendy, you're on Facebook
Yes,
as
and
well?
A Healing Spirit Expo is on Facebook.
A Healing Spirit
Yeah,
Expo.
and it's also, there's the video is on my website and the whole, description of the day long, what's going on all day long. So
Excellent.
if you want more information, it's there.
Excellent. Earth Angel Designs. So you can go there if you want to know more about that expo or more about Wendy, or find out, look up the your overlighting angel.
Sounds
Or what,
great.
is that what you call it? Overlighting?
Your Archangel.
Archangel. Your Archangel. So thank you for joining me. Thank you,
Thank you.
Manchester TV, for this opportunity to have a show. And until next time, remember, your heart knows the way.